So I'm going to move this out of the way for now. We're going to use it about midway through. And some dirt on there. Just going to put these slightly out of the way as well. We're going to start on our backs. If you do want a little blanket under your lower back at this point or your hips, you can always do that. You don't necessarily need one right now. But if that's more comfy for you, just go ahead and place it there. And then we're just going to come on to our backs. You can have your feet flat on the floor. Walk them out a little bit wider. So we're just going to do a check-in first. And just let the knees drop together if that's more comfortable. So we're just trying to let everything around the hips and the lower back relax a little bit. So if there's a slightly different position that feels more comfortable for you, like the feet are closer or a little bit further away from you, just play around with that and see where you can get some comfort and ease around the hips and the lower back. And then as and when you're ready, if it's comfortable to close the eyes, go ahead and do so. And if it's not comfortable closing them, then just pick something nice and neutral to rest the gaze on. You can have the hands on the belly or just out at the sides, whatever's comfortable for your arms, your shoulders. If they're on your belly, it can be quite nice just to connect with the rhythm of the breath and feel the belly rise and fall. But just starting by simply feeling the different points of contact with the floor, your feet, your hips, your back, the back of your head, any part of your arms that are resting. And as you check in and just breathe here, maybe let yourself, if it feels nice, to just rest into those points a little bit more. Maybe noticing on the exhales, a little bit of release, letting go slightly. And if you want to add a little breath to it to let go a little bit more, maybe inhaling in through the nose, fill up the lungs to the corners and the edges. And then as you exhale, always sigh it out through the mouth, nice and slow and long, or maybe a bigger sigh to let energy out, release it a little bit more. Just see what feels good there. And with every breath on those exhales, whether you're sighing it out nice and deep or sighing it out slowly, or still just breathing in and out through the nose, see if you can release a little bit more. Just taking anything that might be outside of this space and leaving it there. And maybe for a moment here, draw your awareness and your attention down around the hips, the lower back. And just connect for a moment down here. We're going to spend a lot of time working with that area. We're going to work through the session today. The beginning is going to be a little bit about awareness through that area. And then we're going to do some gentle movements to warm it up. In the middle, we'll move more to strength, to balance, to really engaging around that area. And then we'll come back down the other side and cool things down, stretch things a bit, find some flexibility while we're warm. So when you're ready, you can open up the eyes and just start to bring the feet hip width apart and the knees apart. And just to really connect with that area to start with, we're going to do some little pelvis tilts. And we're going to guide through that by focusing on what the lower back and the tailbone are doing. So on your exhales, take the belly button and start to draw it down and in. See if you can just press the lower back towards the ground, and then notice as you do that, that the tailbone kind of starts to curl up. And then on the inhales, let the lower back come away from the ground and just feeling that tailbone rotating down towards the earth. And just taking those two movements as you exhale, the lower back draws down as the tailbone curls up. And as you inhale, letting that lower back arch a little bit and the tailbone reaches down. And just keep going through that motion. You can take the fingertips and just put them on the inside of the hips. And just a little bit of pressure there. Notice what's happening to the muscles around that area. So on the inhales, maybe they get a little bit softer and they release. And then as you exhale and draw the belly down and the tailbone comes up, feel them engage. They're turning on. And just a couple more of those. And then really see if you can draw the awareness and the attention as you take those last few, we call these little pelvic tilts, around the actual hips and the pelvis itself. And just notice any sensations there. Just waking it up a little bit, nice and gently. Let's take one more here. And then when you're done that last one, just let yourself come back to neutral. Just sitting in that position for a moment. Notice a little curve and then your lower back, and notice just what the neutral resting place is for your hips and your tailbone. We're going to bring our awareness there quite a lot throughout this session. So next, when you're ready, keep that left leg bent. We're going to stretch the right leg out and reach the right arm up above the head. So just this will be the starting position, flexing that bottom foot, toes pointing up, and then the fingertips reaching up and over behind you. See if you can get that shoulder down away from the ear a little bit if you happen to be scrunching up. And we're going to go through a series of movements from here. On the inhale, you're going to press the foot away and reach the fingertips away. So you're finding a nice stretch along that right side. On your exhale, bend the knee, draw it into the chest. You're going to sweep the arm down so the palm comes down beside you. Good. Next inhale, we're going to straighten the leg up into the air and bring the arm back up above you. Stay here for an exhale, draw the belly down like we just did, and really root yourself in. And then stay here for a breath or two just to get the connection here. On the inhales, on these ones, take that foot above you and imagine you're pressing the ceiling away and then reach the fingertips up, but keep the belly drawn in. Good. Next exhale, rebend the knee and sweep the arm down. And then we go back to the very first position. So inhale, stretch the leg out, press the foot away and reach the fingertips. I'm just going to keep going through that cycle there. Exhale, knee in, the arm sweeps down. Draw that belly down and in so the lower back flattens. Inhale, stretch the leg up, reach the arm up. Stay for the exhale, hug the belly in and really cinch up everything there. Get nice and strong. And then as you inhale, energetically pressing up through the foot and reaching up with the hand. Good. Exhale, knee comes in, arm sweeps down. Just keep on going here. Inhale, reaching out, stretching all along that right side. Good. Exhale, knee comes in, arm sweeps down. Feel that belly and the lower back go down. Inhale, leg goes up, arm sweeps up. On the exhale, draw the belly in. Inhale, reach the foot, reach the fingertips. It's more energetic than actually things moving too much. And then exhale, knee in, arm down. Let's do one more round on this side. Inhale, reach, find the length. Exhale, knee comes in, arm sweeps down. Good. Inhale, stretch the leg up, sweep the arm down. And then exhale, draw the belly in as you stay here. Good. Inhale, imagine you're pressing the heel up to the ceiling, the fingertips reaching up. And then last one, exhaling, draw the knee in. And let's finish where we started. So inhale, stretching out for one more. And then just stay here for a breath. Exhale, let everything relax. So come out of that stretch. Take another inhale, exhale in this position. And then when you're ready, just slide that leg back to that starting position with the feet hip width apart. Bring the right arm down for a second. Maybe just take a moment here and just noticing how the hips are feeling. Maybe there's a difference between the right and the left now. Just opening things up, finding a bit of length, a bit of movement. So other side, straighten the left leg. Start with that left arm reached up and out. Let's start here as you inhale, reach, find the length down that side as you press the foot away and reach the fingertips up. Exhale, knee comes in, arm sweeps down. Good. Inhale, straighten that leg out, sweep the arm up and over. Stay here for the breath. Exhale, draw the belly down. And then on your inhale, press that heel away and the fingertips reach, reach, reach. Good. Exhale, bend the knee in, sweep the arm down. Inhale, straighten the leg along the ground and lengthen. Really find that length on the inhale. Good. Exhale, knee in, sweep the arm. Inhale, leg straightens up, arm comes up. Take that exhale, draw the belly in, lower back reaches towards the ground. And then as you inhale, start to press the heel away, fingertips up, find some length. Good. Exhale, knee and arm sweeps down. Inhale, straightening the leg, really find that length all down the left side. And last round here, exhale, knee in, arm comes back down. Inhale, the leg is up, the arm is up. Exhale, draw the belly down and in, flatten that lower back, and then keeping that engaged. Inhale, pressing through the heel, reaching through the fingertips. Good. Exhale, knee in, arm sweeps down. And then last one here, inhaling back to that start position. Find the length. And then exhale, let everything release and relax for a moment here. Take that extra breath or two in this position, just relaxing into it. And then when you're ready, rebend that left leg. Just bring your hand back down. Maybe just take a moment here and noticing how that feels through the hips and the lower back. Hopefully they're going to start opening up and lengthening a bit. When you're ready, bring the legs together, bring the feet together. Arms can come out to the sides. And we're just going to take a little bit of a side to side here, a little twist for the back and opening up the hips a bit more. So as you inhale, find some length through your spine, pressing your head towards whatever's behind you. On the exhales, let's bring the knees down to the right first. The feet can come up off the ground. Just go as far as is comfortable, especially on these first few. Let's just feel it out a little bit. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale over to the left. So we're just going to go side to side. Good. Inhale, center. Exhale to the sides. Keep on going here. You can go in your own rhythm. You might be a bit slower or quicker than me. The inhales bring you to the center, the exhales to the sides. Also start to add a little bit of focus. Imagine that top hip as you come over is pressing up and over. So it's what's moving you over to the other side. Good. Exhale, feeling that top hip press you up and over. And let's take one more to each side. Maybe you find that you're going a little bit further each time and exploring what that edge is, opening up a little bit more at a time. Good, and then let's all just meet back up at center. Just take 1 or 2 breaths here, let the hips relax. And then walk the feet out a little bit wider here. So if you're on a mat, it's maybe about mat width apart. Otherwise, you're kind of coming halfway in between your elbows and your shoulders, I would say. So the feet start nice and wide. Now we're going to bring the knees in one at a time. So the arms can still be out the sides for a little bit of extra support there. Take an inhale in the middle first. On the exhale, let's bring the right knee down and in. Imagine you're aiming for that spot on the floor just inside of your left foot. And then inhale, come on up. You don't have to touch the floor here. Exhale, left knee down and in. And same as the other motion we picked, just explore for the first few. As you exhale and bring the knees down and in, maybe seeing how far you're going, maybe a little bit further each time. The inhales bring you back to center. The exhales bring those knees down and in. Good. Now maybe also noticing, keep moving in your own rhythm. If that top leg that's staying up maybe wants to open up a little bit, maybe play around with how that feels. And just see if there's something that feels really nice for your body. Depending on where you might be tight or have niggles, there's different versions that might feel better for you. Let's take one last round here. Finishing up on that left side. And then just come on back to center, hug the knees in for a moment. Maybe a little rock side to side if that's comfortable and that feels good for you. Maybe the knees can be a bit wider side to side. Again, see what feels right. And then when you're ready, just bring the knees in, cup the hands around the knees and let the knees rest into the hands. So if you were to let them go, they would just fall away from you. And then we'll just take 2 or 3 little in and outs, little apanasanas. Inhale here to start. As you exhale, drawing the knees in towards the chest. And you're really using the body and the muscles to do this, not the hands. As you inhale, let them draw away. Take an exhale, coming back in again. If you like, you can go a little bit wider with the knees. Again, see what feels good here. Inhale, draw them away. And then last one here, exhale in. Inhale out. And then releasing them, bring your feet back down to the ground. They're still together and the legs are together. And it's kind of the last thing we'll do on our backs this way. We're going to start opening the knees out to the side. So we're working through all the different ranges of motion of the hips here just to warm them up. We're going to go one leg at a time. We're going to also sweep the same arm up. So when you're ready, let's inhale. Start to open the right knee out to the side and sweep that right arm up and overhead. Good. Exhale. Come on back to center. Arm comes back down. We're going to go side to side. So inhale, the left opens up. And again, see how far opening feels comfortable in the first few. Exhale, come on back. And then as you inhale, and we move side to side here, exhale, come on back. Just start to notice if that range of motion changes a little bit as we go. Inhale, opening. Exhale, closing. And then one last round here. Inhale, opening up. Exhale, closing back. And then last one on the left. So sweeping up and over. And exhale, come on back. Good. Then we're going to stay in this position. We're going to do both legs at a time here. We're going to add a little breath in between at the top. So let's start together. Inhale, legs both open up and sweep the arms up. The soles of your feet can come together as you do this. We're going to stay here for a breath. So we're going to exhale, let everything relax a little bit. And then as you inhale, opening up a little bit more. So reach the fingertips up and opening up the knees. The lower back really arches a little bit here. And then exhale, bring the knees together, sweep the arms down. So a few rounds of these. As you inhale, you open and come up, sweep the arms. The arms can go out to the side a little bit too. See where your shoulders are comfortable. Stay for that extra breath. On the inhale, opening up the knees a little bit more, maybe the upper or the back arches a little bit. And then the exhale brings you back to the start position. Good, last two. Inhale, open. With that exhale, really let yourself relax into it. And then on the next inhale, opening up, reaching the fingertips, opening up the knees, arch the spine. Good, exhale, bring everything back to center. And last one here. Inhale, the opening. Just notice if the body's releasing a little bit more. Exhale, relax into it. And if it's not, that's totally fine as well. Inhale, open, arch the lower back. And then exhale. Everything comes on back to center. Hug the knees in for a moment here again. Maybe a little rock side to side. And so a lot of those movements were around stretching and opening and warming things up. And we're going to move next to doing a little bit of strengthening for our lower back before we get to standing. So I'm going to get you to roll right over onto your front. If you've got that blanket there, it can be nice to kind of put that under your hips in this direction as well. And just take a moment here. Your head can be to the side, or you can just be on your chin. Hands can be at your sides or nestled under your forehead. Just find something that's comfortable, especially for your lower back and your hips. And you can even wiggle the hips a little side to side here. Just help them release slightly. Good. So we're going to go into the strengthening. Bring the legs together as much as you can. If they don't want to go all the way together, that's fine. And find a bit of engagement between the top of your feet and the ground. So you're going to press down slightly. As you do that, see if you can get the stomach, the core muscles sort of deep within the center there to engage a little bit. And you're going to bring your hands out to the sides, palms facing down. And we're not really going to use the hands, so I want you to almost imagine that they might be hovering a little bit. You can just bring your chin or your forehead down to the ground, whichever is more comfortable for you. So we're going to start working with the lower back, keeping the feet on the ground. On your inhales, you're going to bring the shoulders and the head and the chest up as much as possible. On the exhales, just lowering back down. I really want to bring your attention and your awareness to the lower back as you do this. So inhale, come on up, focus on the lower back. You don't have to go too high, just go within comfort and to a point where you could hover your hands so the hands aren't pushing you up. Good, few more here. Inhale to bring you up. Exhale to bring you down. And nice slow movements. Kind of see if you can really use the length of your breath, going all the way through the inhales as you come. Using the whole exhale if you can to lower yourself back down. Keep a bit of engagement between the tops of your feet and the ground. And let's do one last one. We're going to inhale. And then this time, let's stay up for a breath. So just exhale here. And then inhale, maybe even find a tiny bit more height. Could even be like a fraction of a millimeter. And then exhale, come on back down. Come back to the resting position. So it could be the head to the side with the arms down here. Just to see if there's a position where you can release a little bit, even wiggle the hips side to side. Good. Now we're going to do the opposite. We're going to work with the legs. So you can keep your arms down at your sides if they're there. You can keep them here if you like, but just relax the shoulders, relax the upper back. And we're going to start bringing the legs up. So bring them together as much as you possibly can. And then start to inhale, lifting the feet and the knees off the ground. And again, focusing on the lower back. And then exhale, bringing them back down. So again, nice, slow, controlled, use the breath, the whole length of it. And we'll do 3 or 4 rounds here. So on the inhale, come on up. On the exhale, releasing back down. Good, couple more. Inhale, come on up. Exhale, come on down. And then last one. Inhale. Exhale. Again, just take a breath or two. Rest and relax. You can wiggle the hips back and forth. You can bring the arms down if you like. And then last but not least, we're going to put all of that together and we're going to lift everything up. So your feet, your legs are coming up, your head, your shoulders. Let's take one nice big breath together here before we start. Exhale it out. And then as you inhale, head, shoulders, chest, feet, legs, bring the hands to hover. And then exhale, come on down, nice and slow. Use the length of the breath. Good. Let's do 3 more. Inhale, come on up. That gaze is just down at the ground, so we're not arching the neck or anything like that. And exhale, come on down. And then last 2 here. On the inhales, you're coming up. On the exhales, come on back down. And last one here. Inhale, come on up. Let's stay for that extra breath. Exhale it out. Inhale, maybe a tiny bit more height. And then exhale, releasing everything. Come on down. Wiggle the hips again. If this position is quite relaxing and comfortable for you, you can stay here. We're going to take a bit of a rest. You can also come to child's pose, which is where we're going next. So if that's a position that you find more comfortable for you, you can come into it. So just coming, bending over the knees. Your head can come down or stay up if you like, and the knees can even be a little bit wider. You can just rest the head on the hands if you're already in that position. But just taking a few breaths, either you're still on your stomach, just laying down, or you're back in child's pose already. And then when you're ready, you get everyone to just come on back towards child's pose for just a moment. And the next place we're going is onto all fours. So if you want to go straight there as well, if child's pose isn't your favorite, and come on to all fours. I'm just going to be here for a few. Shoulders over the wrists. Get the fingertips nice and wide. Spread them as much as possible, like you're trying to get the thumb and the pinkies far away from each other. Hips are over the knees, and you can have the toes tucked under or just the tops of the feet on the ground. Either way is fine. And we're just going to take a few cat-cows here. So start with the neutral spine. On the inhale, you're going to dip the belly down towards the floor, arching the lower back, and then move that arch up through the middle, the upper back. Lastly, bringing the gaze up to wherever is comfortable. And as you exhale, start at the top, start to round, press the floor away with your hands until you round all the way down to the bottom, tucking that tailbone down. Good. Take a few of these, inhaling from bottom to the top and exhaling from the top to the bottom. And you can explore a little bit here. So feel free to move in slightly different ways. If you want on the exhales, you can even add bringing your butt back towards the heels if that's comfortable for you. Just play around with it a little bit. The inhales are finding that arch and the opening through the chest. The exhales, you're finding a rounding like a cat. I think that's the cat half of cat-cow. I don't know why this one's the cow. Well, maybe. Good, let's take one more. Maybe you're bringing the butt back towards the heels. Maybe you're not. And then when you're ready, bring the butt back towards the heels and just let your wrists rest for a second. You can even turn the palms up. So we're going to come back to all fours, but I'm just letting the wrists have a little bit of a rest. You can even make little fists and open your hands a bit. Maybe little circles with the wrists. That feels nice. And then when you're ready, the last little thing we're doing before we come to standing, find all fours again. We're just going to do a flat back here. And those little pelvic tilts that we did when we were lying on our backs, we're just going to do a couple of those. So on the exhale, you're going to draw the belly in and imagine that tailbone rotating down. So we're not arching the whole spine, it's just the pelvis. And then on the inhale, just bringing it on back to neutral. So we're not really arching much here. Good. Exhale, find that little pelvic tilt. And then inhale, just come on back to neutral. Couple more here. Exhale, and just notice if it feels any different than it did on our backs, or we've actually been doing a lot of movement. So hopefully things are opening up a little bit. And again, if they're not, that's totally fine. And then just come on back to neutral. Gonna tuck the toes under. And let's take a little downward dog on the way to getting up. So you're gonna bring the knees up and bring the hips up. If you want, keep that gaze up and see if you can find a bit of length in your spine. Keep the knees as bent as you need to and really focus on the length in the spine. You can paddle the knees, kind of a little bending from side to side if you like. That can feel quite nice. And just one or two more breaths here. If you want, find a moment of stillness in that downward dog and just focus on the length of the spine right through to the hips and the lower back. And then when you're ready, you're going to walk the hands back towards the feet and just come into a little halfway lift. So the torso is parallel to the ground. Hands can be on the shins or the thighs. Just get a nice straight flat back. Come back to a little bit of strength in the lower back that we just worked on. As you inhale, see if you can lengthen the spine. Imagine the top of your head is reaching to whatever's in front of you and the hips are reaching behind you. Legs are nice and strong. On the exhales, let's start bending the knees a bit and releasing towards a forward fold. Let the lower back relax a little bit when you get there. We'll just go between these two a few times here. Inhale, come up into a flat back. Really focus on the strength in the lower back and the length through the whole spine. On the exhale, bend the knees and release. Good. Inhale, come up to strength, legs, spine. And exhale, releasing a little bit. Good. One last one here. Inhaling, nice flat back. Exhale, releasing. And then let's just slowly roll on up. Start to press into the feet. Legs are nice and strong. Relax the back as you come up. You can even let the arms dangle a bit, maybe even side to side. And come up nice and slow. If you can, keep that gaze down a little bit, just to keep the blood from rushing up to the head. And if it's comfortable, keep the gaze down a little bit longer, even when you come to standing. And then let's inhale, bring the shoulders up towards the ears. And then as you exhale and roll them back, you can bring the gaze up. Maybe clench around the butt cheeks and the legs a little bit when you get there, just to help any kind of little sensation of dizziness dissipate. And then just take a moment here. You can close the eyes if you like, standing in mountain for a few breaths. Just noticing anything about your hips, your lower back in the space, maybe just how it feels to be on your feet, to be standing and grounding. Find a little bit of stability and strength all the way from your heels up through the legs, up through the spine. Head is nice and tall. And then on your exhale, see if you can add that little bit of ease and comfort, relaxing the tissues and the muscles around that central strength. Good. So starting off the standing bits of the class, I'm going to move my blanket out of the way and I'm going to grab one of my blocks. And we're going to work here. We're going to move into that little bit of strength and balance. So we've opened things up. The hips are a lot of space around them. So we're going to start to really build the strength around that. So let's start with our right foot on the block or the book, DVD set, whatever you're using there. And then we're going to step up onto it, maybe keep your toes for a second on the ground and just start to feel some engagement pressing down into the foot and really hug in around the hips, around the core. Imagine that belly button again, flattening the lower back and feel how that engages a bit more. And then when you're ready, start to bring that left foot off the ground and see if you can keep the hips as neutral as possible. So you might be tempted to reach one up or down depending on where the balance is shifting, but see if you can come back to neutral as much as possible. If you need to have your arms out a little bit, go ahead and do that. And just really press down through that foot. So let's play around with the balance a bit and just explore. So maybe start to swing your foot forward and back. It could be nice and controlled, or you could even just kind of let it swing. And just notice all the little muscles working to keep you balanced through that little motion. Maybe moving the foot side to side really starts to engage different things, asking different parts of the body to do the work to keep you stable and steady. And then maybe little circles, both directions. And then just come on back to center, find some stability there. Maybe pressing down into that foot a little bit more, get taller through the head. Draw the belly button in, and then come on down. You can just place your feet on either side of the block and take a moment there. So we're really asking this right side of the body to engage. And just notice that shift. We're moving towards some strength and stability. So let's swap feet there. Just start with the left foot on the block. You can have your toes on it first. And just play around with getting the balance there. Check your hips a little bit. And when you're ready, take that right foot, flex it up off the ground. Again, press down through the left foot. Feel the top of the head reach up a little bit. And then maybe start to add that movement. It could be nice, controlled, front and back. It could be more like a pendulum swing. And let's get the side to side. Totally different muscles starting to engage here. And maybe some little circles. Asking everything to work. Good. Find some stillness in the center. Wobbling is okay. And then again, press down through that foot, reach up with the head, draw the belly in, feel everything just hug in. You can see how that just really stabilized everything. And step down when you're ready. Little mountain pose, you can just step on either side of whatever you're using. Take a moment there, come back to that stability right through the center. And then using your exhales to see if you can let the soft tissues relax a little bit. Not full on relaxing, but find that comfort and ease around that central stability. Good. So I'm going to move this out of the way. And we're going to keep on going with the balance and the stability. We're going to start at one end of the, roughly if you've got a mat, whether you're on a mat or not, leave yourself some space to go in that direction. Now, version 1, I'll give you a few options here, is one foot directly in front of the other. So you're going the toes to the heel. So you can do that one. If that feels super wobbly, even just standing here, you can just keep the feet one in front of the other, but move them a little bit further apart. So that's the version there with the feet. And then I'll give you some options in the top of the body when we start getting into it. So find what's right for you, something that maybe challenges the balance, but not to the point where you're falling out of it constantly. So find the right width. And then when you get there, press the feet down. Almost imagine you're pressing the thighs away from each other. So that'll bring a bit of stability into it. And then draw that belly button in. Stand nice and tall. Good. When you're ready, we're going to sweep the arms up. Inhale. Take a breath here. We're going to exhale. Take the shoulders down away from the ears. Draw that belly button in. And then as you inhale again, find a bit more length, but keep that midline and keep the waist engaged. And then we're going to exhale, come on to a little forward fold. You can bend that front knee slightly. And option 1 is you can just bring your hands to your thigh, maybe come halfway, maybe even a little bit higher, or you can go really nice and low. So that's option 1. So we'll do the options here on one side, and then inhale, come on back up, sweep those arms up. Exhale, come on back down. And we're going to stay on this side just for one more, and I'll give you the second option. So inhale, sweep the arms up. Stay here for that breath. Exhale, shoulders away from the ears, draw the belly in. Inhale, up again. And option 2 here is to keep the arms up as you exhale. So the arms up are like extra little weights. So it's an extra challenging one. And then at any point that you want, you can bring the hands to the shins or the thigh. Good. On the way back up, inhaling the arms beside the ears first, and then come on to standing. So that's option 2. Exhale the arms back down. And at this point, you'll have an idea of kind of what range the options are in. So let's step the foot in front of the other. So we're taking one step forward, switching legs effectively. And go with your option that you picked for you. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, shoulders away from the ears, draw the belly in. Good. Inhale, get a little bit taller. And then let's exhale, come on forward. Bend that front knee a little bit. Pick your option. So I'm going to keep my arms up. And then just come on as far as feels comfortable for you. Good. Inhale, press into that front foot. Really press into it to bring yourself back up. And exhale, release the arms. Good. Let's step forward. One step. Find the width that's right for you. Let's inhale the arms up. Exhale, shoulders away from the ears, belly draws in. Good. Inhale, find more length through the spine, but keep that belly drawn in. And then exhale, little micro bend in that front knee or more if you like. I'm going to bring my arms down this time and just come halfway. Good. Inhale, press into that front foot, but keep that back foot pressing down and engaged as well as you come back up. Exhale, release. Good. Step on forward one more time. Let's inhale, sweep the arms up. Stay for the exhale, hug everything in, and then inhale, find a bit more length through the spine. From that place of length, let's exhale, coming on forward. Micro bend that knee if you need. And then inhale, sweep on back up. Maybe playing around with where the arms are. Maybe you're getting stabler as we go, or maybe you get more wobbly, and then you hang back a bit for that first option. We're doing 2 more here. Let's inhale, come on up. Exhale, stay for the hugging in. Inhale, stay hugged in and reach, get a bit taller. And then exhale, come on forward. Bend that knee as much as you need. Press those thighs outwards for the extra stability. And then inhale, come on back up. Exhale, release the arms. Step forward for the last one here. Good. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, hug in, shoulders down. Inhale, get a little bit longer and taller. Feel yourself lengthen through the waist. And then exhale, last little forward fold here. Good. Inhale, come on back up. And exhale, release the arms back down. And then come into a mountain pose, feet hip width apart. Let's just take that for a few breaths here. And just use that to check in, to notice any sensations there. And keep that balance between the stability through the center and the ease around. Maybe see if you can bring your awareness to your hips, your lower back, your bum muscles. Just let those, see if you can find a bit of softness around them. So we've asked them to do a lot of work keeping us stable. Good. Nice. So this is where the chair is going to come in. I'm going to do some little pyramid postures. I'm going to bring that chair back. Then I want you to step far enough away from it that we're going to step forward, and we'll do that in a second, where you can come down and that chair can be a sense of support for you. And even you can get your shoulder over your wrist. So we'll be going into that version at some point. So maybe find the right distance and then bring yourself back to the starting point so we can set ourselves up. So take that right foot. We're just going to point it out, maybe 45-degree angle. You might find you're going to need a different one, but we'll get to that in a second. And then step that left foot forward. So I'm about 3/4 of a meter, half a meter. ish. And then this position, hips are forward, shoulders are forward. And if you need to, you might need to go a bit wider with that back foot or change the angle. And just make sure the knee is comfortable back there. Good. I'm going to take the left hand and just tuck it behind our lower back of the hand to the lower back. If that's not comfortable, just hang it at the side. The right arm is down by your side. Draw the belly in. Get the head a little bit taller. Press down through the feet. So find that engagement before we even start. And then let's inhale the arm up. Stay here for that extra breath. Exhale, shoulder away from the ear. Draw the belly in. And then inhale, get a little bit taller. As we exhale, bend into that knee just a little bit at the front. And then start to come on forward. You can bring the hand down to the chair if you like. And just see how far forward feels comfortable for you on this one. You might stop at halfway. And then inhale, we're going to sweep on back up. And exhale, release the hand. Good couple of rounds of this. Inhale, draw the arm up. Exhale, stay to draw the waist in, shoulder away from the ear. Inhale, reaching up further, press through the feet as you reach up. And then exhale, come on forward. Really press down through the feet as you come on forward. Maybe you find you're going a little bit further. Your second and third ones, inhale, come on back up. Exhale, release. Good, last one like this. Inhale, come on up. Exhale, hugging in, shoulder away from the ears. Inhale, get taller. Press through the feet, reach up through the top of the head and the fingertips. From that length, exhale, come on forward. Bend the knee as much as you need to do this. Good. Now this time, we're going to stay here and just inhale up to a flat back and get your hand flat onto the chair there, shoulder roughly over the wrist. And check in with your hips here. See if you can get them nice and stable, like you could almost put a cup on there or something with water in it and it wouldn't spill. Now we're going to just take a little twist here. So you can keep the hand exactly where it is, or see if you can walk it over maybe to the center, maybe a little bit further, but go only as far as you can keep that lower back nice and flat. When you're ready, we're going to inhale, find some length through the spine, so reach that head forward and the hips back. And then as you exhale, start to open up the shoulders and the chest over to that left side, but keep that lower back still. So you might actually have to start making little micro adjustments, engaging the legs really to keep there. So let's breathe through this. Inhale, find a bit more length in your spine. Exhale, maybe opening up a touch more. If you're comfortable, you might want to release that arm and bring it up behind you or even up above. There's different degrees of this. If it's comfortable at the back, just leave it at the back. Good, one more breath. Exhale. And then let's inhale, unravel ourselves back to center. Bring that hand under the shoulder if you've moved it over. Take an inhale here. And then as you exhale, fold a little bit further and releasing over that front hip. And now let's inhale, sweep everything back up. The fingertips reach up to the sky again. And exhale, release the arm back down. Good, step the feet together. You might be stepping forward or back. Release that hand at the back. And just taking a moment here. Maybe notice any differences between the left and the right. Good. When you're ready, let's do the other side. So the left foot angles out a little bit. Step forward with the right this time. Again, play around with that back foot. The hips are quite different, so it's very likely one hip is tighter than the other, and just notice maybe it's this side, maybe it was the other. And play around with the width of that foot if you need a slightly different angle. Just take a moment there to find the right place for you. And when you're ready, get that right hand behind the back. And again, it doesn't have to. If it's at the side, it's fine. See how your shoulder's comfortable there. Good, press into the feet, draw the belly in, head reaches up. Good, now let's inhale, draw the left arm sweeps up. Exhale, shoulder away from the ear, belly draws in. Good, keep that engagement and inhale, get a little bit taller. And then let's exhale, come on forward, bend that front knee. First one here, so just see where your edge is, how that feels through that right hip. Good, and inhale, let's sweep on back up, press into the front foot, reach with the top hand. Exhale, release the arm back down. Couple more here. Inhale, sweeping up. Stay for the exhale, draw everything in, cinch it in. And then as you inhale, keep that engagement, but get a little bit taller. Exhale, come on forward. Micro bend that front knee as much as you need to. Good, inhale, come on back up, sweeping up, up, up. And exhale, releasing the arm back down. Good, last one here. We're gonna inhale, reach the arm up. Exhale, shoulder down, draw the belly button in, and then inhale, keep that strength in the middle, but reach a little bit taller. Stay nice and tall as you exhale, hinging at the hips, bend that knee as much as you need to. Come into that little forward fold. And then when you're ready, let's inhale up to that flat back. Hand is down onto the chair, shoulder over the wrist. And just double check here the hips. So we've got that flatness at the bottom there. Good. And let's see where you're comfortable going with the hands. So it might be the middle, might be a little further over. I'm starting to work there to keep the hips where they are as you do that. So let's take an inhale and lengthen the spine. And then on the exhale, start to open the chest and the shoulders, maybe bring the gaze out to the side. It doesn't have to go very far at all. And then use that breath pattern. So the inhales are lengthening, the exhales open up a bit. You notice as you do that, you have to work harder with the muscles around the hip to keep you in that center. Good, if it's comfortable, maybe reaching the arm back or up. Just depends on your shoulder. It's totally up to you. And you can keep that gaze where you like as well, where it's nice for your neck. Good, last breath here. Good, and then next inhale, let's just bring our gaze back down to the ground. Move that hand back over so the shoulders the wrist. Take an inhale, find a nice long back again. And then exhale last time, releasing into the forward fold over this. See if there's any change in how that feels. Good, next inhale. Let's sweep on up, press yourself up. Exhale, release the arm. Stepping back or forwards, whatever is comfortable. Release that hand from the back. And maybe just take a couple nice breaths here in your mountain pose. Really noticing through the hips. And see if you can find that engagement around those muscles. They're going to be working because you're standing. See if you can soften them a little bit. Find some release there. Good. And then let's just take one little forward fold, one or two, just to get everything back to neutral here. So stand in the mountain pose. Inhale, sweep the arms up. And then exhale, bend the knees as much as you need to as you hinge forward and just releasing. And just a couple dynamic ones here. Inhale, come on back up. Just to get everything moving back in this neutral direction. Exhale the arms down. And one more here. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold forward. And one more time, let's come on back up. And exhale, release. Good. Move your chair or whatever you're using as your little prop out of the way. And then just come on back to center. So the last thing we're going to do before we come back down to ground. Put the feet wider apart. They can maybe be about under your elbows or so. A little bit narrower or wider, depending on what you're comfortable with. And then we're going to turn the feet out a little bit, maybe 45 degrees, but see what's comfortable for you. And see where you are, where you can just track the knees over the ankles. So if you find the knees are dipping in a bit, maybe bring your feet a little bit less at an angle there. So I'm going to have mine about 45 degrees. Good. Let's inhale, get nice and tall. Get the length through the spine with the belly drawn in. And then as you exhale, let's just bend into the knees, bring the hands to the thighs. Inhale, find a little bit of height here again. Find the length in your spine. And as we exhale, press into that left hand and dip your left shoulder in. So a little twist, little dip here, shoulders, hips, back. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, dip in the right shoulder. Good. Inhale, straighten the legs, come on up. Exhale, come on down again. Inhale, find the length first. Exhale, dip that left shoulder in. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, dip the right shoulder in. Inhale, back to center and back up. And last time here. Exhale, come on back down. You might not go as far as you might go a little bit further. Inhale, nice length through the spine. And then exhale, left shoulder dips and press into that thigh. Kind of getting into the hip and the back here and the shoulder. Inhale, center. Exhale, dip it in. The thighs might be burning here if you're quite low. Mine are. Inhale, come on back up. And then just bring the feet back to neutral. Just let yourself come back to the natural breath. Hands on the hips for a moment. Let's inhale, get a little bit taller here. As you exhale, you can bend the knees a little bit, hinge at the hips, keep the length in your spine as you come on forward. You bring the hands or the elbows to the knees if you like, or if you're comfortable coming a little bit further and the hands reach to the ground, bring them to the ground. If you're comfortable releasing the head, feel free to release the head and the back. Just see if you can relax there for a few breaths. If the head's more comfortable up, just keep it up. You can even a little side to side here, bending each knee one at a time. Just getting into the hips slightly more here. And then find a little bit of stillness in the center. If your head is down, you can feel free to just maybe take your head forward and back or side to side. Really let it release the neck. Good. And then that's all together. Come up into a halfway lift so the back is nice and flat. And then bring your hands to your hips. Take an inhale here, find some length in your spine. Exhale, draw the belly in a little bit more. Micro bend the knees there. Press into the feet as you inhale. Let's come on back to standing. And exhale, release. Good. Now at this point, we're going to come down to the ground. So you can just come down and sit on the ground. Or if this is something that you've done before and it's accessible or you like it or you want to try it now, and if it's too much, then just come to sitting. Feet angled out again, maybe not quite as wide as before. It's more a little bit wider than your shoulders. And then we're going to bend at the knees and just come as low as feels comfortable, elbows on the inside of your knees. And for some people, this is accessible and all their joints are at the right angle and it's a comfortable position to sit in. And for some, it's agony. So maybe just a breath or two here if it's accessible. If not, just come on down to the floor and start to find your seated position. Good. And even if you're in this position, just release the hands and come on down to the floor. So at this point, we're going to do some seated stuff. You might want your block back. So that's something that might be helpful. So just have these things handy. And then you can use your blanket or maybe even one of your blocks or books or things to sit on. So we'll talk about that slightly more in a moment. And whatever you're sitting on, or if you're sitting on the floor, our little check for how we're doing here is that our hips are nice and stable onto the ground. If you find that they're tilted back a little bit and it forces your back into this rounded position, then you want to be a little bit higher onto something so that it's comfortable for you. It might take a bit of work and muscle engagement, but you're able to keep the spine nice and straight, stacked on top of the hips. So that's that little check for how high you want to be, because that's going to give you the space and let your hips be at an angle to do that. So I usually need to sit on something. And when you get there, the legs are together. Flex the feet so the toes are pointing up. And this is a position that we are engaged to stay in. So it's not really a resting, easy position. Draw the belly in, open the chest. Hands can just be down beside you to start. We're just going to do a couple forward folds this is our kind of check-in today. Let's inhale the arms up. And then exhale, hinge at the hips. The spine is nice and long, only go as far as you can not have to round the back. And when you get there, release the hands. Just keep on breathing through this. Take an inhale, lengthen the spine a little bit more. And then on your exhale, maybe allow that rounding to come in. You might not be that low, and it's absolutely fine. Next inhale, let's sweep on back up. Reach the hands up. And then exhale, release the arms. We're just going to do one more of these. So inhale, reach the arms up first. As you exhale, hinging at the hips, the back is nice and straight. When you can't go any further, let the hands come on down to the ground. Take an inhale, lengthen the spine even more. And then only then start to let your back round and relax. The gaze can come down. Good. Inhale, come on back up. And exhale, release. Good. Now we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to do it one-legged. So you're going to keep the right leg straight. And you're going to take the left leg and just bend it in here. Now I'll give you a few different options here. For some, this isn't all that comfortable. You can stack something under the knee just to help to prop it. It can be a little bit higher. It can be lower, so that can help you stay in this position a bit more. If this leg is struggling at all as well, to find a bit of relief, you can also take that left foot and tuck it underneath the right leg. That's a really nice variation. Or sticking a block or something under it, just to help give yourself more space in the lower back. So I'm going to keep mine right here. Well, I'm going to, for me, stick a little block in just for a bit of extra support there. And then sitting up nice and tall when you get there. That front, the right foot is flexed. Let's inhale the arms up. Stay here for a breath. Exhale, draw the belly and shoulders away. So just like we did in standing. And then as you inhale, get a little bit taller. Good. Exhale, hinging forward. Again, just as far as the back is straight. And then bring the hands down to the ground when you get to that limit. Inhale, lengthen the spine a little bit more. And then exhale, just let your back round and releasing. Good. Inhale, come on back up. Reach the fingertips up. Exhale, release. Couple more here. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, let's come forward, hinge. Start to release the hands when you're at your limit. Take the inhale, get it even longer. Exhale, release, rounding. Good. Inhale, come on up. Exhale, hands back down. One last one here. Inhale, reach, 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 reach. Exhale, let's hinge and come on forward. Release the hands while your back is still straight. Take the inhale to lengthen even more. And from that place of length, exhale and let yourself round and release forward. Good. Inhale, reach back up. Find the length in your spine again as you come up. Exhale, release the hands. And just take a moment here, maybe 1 or 2 breaths, see how that feels before and after. And then when you're ready, straightening out that left leg, bend the right one in. Maybe at this point you notice that one side feels very different than the other. Just see what that difference is. And again, I'm going to stick my block on underneath, but you can tuck the foot under. You can stick something under that left knee and find the right version for you. Foot is flexed at the front. Hands just resting down, spine nice and long. And let's do this side. Inhale, arms up. Stay for the exhale, draw the belly in, shoulders down away from the ears. Inhale, get even taller. From that place of length, let's exhale, hinge. When the back is still flat, but you fit your edge, bring the arms down. Take the inhale, get even longer. And then from that place of length, exhale, let yourself round. Good. Take the inhale, sweeping back up. Exhale, release. We got 2 more. Inhale, come on up. We're not going to take that extra breath, but find the length on the first one. Exhale, hinging. Start to bring the arms down when you're coming to your limit. Take the inhale to lengthen. And then exhale, take the rounding from that place of length. Inhale, come on back up. Exhale, release. And last one. Inhale, reaching on up. From that place of length, exhale and hinge. Start to release the arms. The back is still nice and flat. Take the next inhale to lengthen even more. And then lastly, exhale, let yourself round and release. And then inhaling, sweeping all the way back up. Release the hands. And then again, take 1 or 2 breaths here. Just noticing any before and afters here. Good. And then lastly here, sitting, just bring the legs even again, just 1 or 2 little rounds even to bring ourselves back to neutral. Let's take the inhale, arms up. Exhale, hinging. Hands come down when you're at your edge. Inhale, lengthen even more. And exhale, releasing. Good. Inhale, sweeping back up. Exhale, releasing down. And one last one here. Inhale, come on up. The knees might be a little bent here. That's fine as well. Exhale, hinging. Release the arms. Inhale, lengthen. A bit more length. And then exhale, round and release. Inhale, come on back up. And exhale, release the arms back down. Just take a breath or 2 here. Noticing any shifts from when we first sat down in this position to now. And then as and when you're ready, we're going to come on back to our backs. So we're going to come out of this a little bit like the way we came in, but with one little added addition of some bridge work. So just come onto your back. feet hip width apart. And just releasing a little bit. See if you can relax. Put your hands on the belly. If you want to walk your feet a bit wider and let the knees drop in for a moment, you can do that. But just reorienting yourself to being on your back. Coming back down the other side of the hill. Good. And then when you're ready, let's do feet wide. I'm going to do some of those ins, just a few of them. Just moving towards evening the hips out again. Hands out to the side. Take an inhale, lengthen the spine. And then exhale, right knee dips in. Maybe not going as far as before, maybe going further. It just depends where your hips are at, but nice and gently. Inhale back to center and exhale other side. So doing a few rounds, go at your own rhythm here. Just maybe testing out how that feels. The inhales are to the center, the exhales down and over. You might want to open up that top leg more. Maybe that feels really good at this point. Just gently, gently coming back down the other side of the mountain. One last one each side. Moving to your own rhythm. Take little pauses at the bottoms if you like. And then when you're ready, just hug the knees in for a moment. Maybe a little rock side to side if that feels good. Just find some stillness in the middle. And then place your feet down on the ground. We're going to finish with a couple little bridges here before we go into our meditation. So feet are hip width apart, flat on the ground. They're about hip width apart for this one. Hands are at your sides, palms facing down. And just start by bringing your awareness down to the soles of your feet. Maybe press in a little bit. Take one of those little pelvic tilts, draw the belly in and tilt the pelvis up for a moment here. And then releasing again. Just let it relax for a second. Good. Hands down at the side. Let's add a little bit of movement. So we're going to stage these ones. On the first one, let's inhale. We're going to go up maybe a quarter of the way, not too high. And we're going to stay here for an exhale. See if you can soften again through the hips, through the butts and the lower back. Good. Inhale, come up a little bit higher, maybe halfway, not too high again. Again, on the exhale, see if you can find a little bit of softness. So it's still engaged. You can't really help that. On the next inhale, come up a little bit higher. So maybe you've got a nice straight line from your knees up to your shoulders. So you're not at your maximum height. As you exhale in this one, you might be taking 1 or 2 breaths here. Find that softness. Then on the next inhale, let's sweep the hips up even higher and sweep the arms up and over and let the arms help the back find a nice little arch. Good. Stay here for one exhale. Inhale, maybe finding a bit more height, press into the feet. And then keeping the arms up, let's exhale slowly, little piece by piece of the spine, bringing it all the way down. Good, take another inhale here. Feel that chest opening, and then as you exhale, bring the hands back down and just feel your back return to its nice natural curve as you do that. Let's do one more round here. Inhale, maybe a quarter of the way up. Take that exhale and see if you can soften, even if it's just a little bit. Feel those muscles on the inside of the hips soften. Good. Inhale a little bit higher, maybe it's halfway or so. Exhale, letting everything soften a little bit. Good. Inhale, that last point, maybe halfway, maybe a little bit higher actually. Find that softening as you exhale. On your next inhale, let's sweep those arms up. Feel them helping the chest open, those bottom ribs reaching up. Take a little exhale here. Maybe find a little bit of softness even in this position. And then inhale, find a little bit more openness, even if it's just energetic and not physical. And then as you exhale, little by little, use that whole breath to come on down. Rest the hips on the ground. Take another inhale here. Maybe just feel the chest open with that breath, not necessarily reaching. And then as you exhale, sweep the arms down and feel the natural curve return to the spine. Good. Just sit here for a moment, a breath or two. Let everything rest and relax. And then draw those knees in. A little hug, maybe a little side to side again. And then last but certainly not least, a little Apanasana action. Cup the knees in the hands. Take an inhale. Exhale, draw the knees in. Feel as if the belly is drawing the knees towards you with that exhale. And then inhale. Feel like the breath is pushing the knees away. Exhale, draw everything in. Inhale, let everything draw away. 2 more here. Exhale, knees in. You can take the knees a bit wider if you want to get into your hips a little bit. Inhale away. And last one here. Take your version of choice as you exhale. And then inhale. Let everything draw away from you. You can let the feet come back down to the ground and go into our Savasana here. So and stretch the legs out. If for any reason that feels like a bit too much, especially on the lower back, you can take a cushion or a pillow and just tuck it under the knees. So I don't have one beside me, but imagine that's a cushion, and feel free to grab a pillow from wherever you like. You can even use the blocks if you like. And you can just let the knees rest. So that tends to relieve a bit of pressure in the lower back. It can be quite nice and just help get into that relaxed state a little bit more. Hands can be on your belly or just out to the sides with the palms facing up. And then as and when you're ready, either find that resting place for your gaze, or if eyes closed is comfortable today, then go ahead and close the eyes. And just let your awareness and your attention just scan up the back side of the body, noticing all the different points that are in contact with the floor. And then maybe with each exhale, see if you can let all those different points of contact release a little bit more. It feels nice. Maybe start to exhale through the mouth. If it feels good, let those exhales start to lengthen longer and smoother with each breath. And as you release into the floor a little bit more, letting go, a little bit more, let go, letting go. And maybe let your awareness and your attention just find some little part of your breath that it is drawn to rest on. It could be the rise and fall of the belly, expansion and contraction, ins and outs around the chest. And maybe it's following the sensation of the breath at the tip of the nostrils, the coolness as it enters the body, goes through the sinuses down the back of the throat, and the warmth as it comes back out and leaves. See if you can let the awareness, the attention rest somewhere on the breath. And simply letting go a little bit more and a little bit more. And maybe slowly and gently beginning to deepen your breath again, lengthening the inhales and the exhales just a little bit more. Feeling that breath expanding through the body. Maybe start to feel it out through the limbs, through the arms, through the legs, to the tips of the fingers and the toes. Maybe even starting to wiggle the fingers, wiggle the toes. And finding a little bit more movement, maybe even let the head fall from side to side. A bit of movement, a bit of motion through the neck. And then as and when you're ready, if it's comfortable, taking the arms up over the head and taking a nice big stretch from the tips of the fingers to the tips of the toes. And then again, when you're ready, if it's comfortable, drawing the knees in, give yourself another little hug. Maybe a little gentle rock side to side. And if it's a comfortable position for you, just make your way onto your left-hand side. You can stay in that little hugged position, like a little curled up position. If it's more comfortable to stay on your back, maybe just staying on your back a little bit longer. And again, as and when you're ready, in your own time, with the eyes closed still, if that's comfortable, start to press yourself up and make your way up to a seated position. And just take your time getting into that comfortable seated position. Find yourself nice and tall, nice length through the spine. Resting the hands on the thighs, somewhere nice and comfortable. And taking a few more nice, smooth, long, deep breaths. Maybe exhaling through the mouth if that feels comfortable for you. And just noticing any sensations, maybe feeling a bit more still than you were at the beginning. I say that the body benefits from the movement and the mind from stillness. Often we need the body to move a bit so we can sit still, and so the mind can be a bit more still. And when you're ready, finally, let's take the left hand, place it over the heart center, just over the center of the chest. Bring the right on top of the left. Just take a little moment here, and if it's comfortable, it feels all right for you today, just think of something that you're grateful for, no matter how little, how big. And then taking another moment and just acknowledge whatever that is. Maybe it's a little thank you, maybe a gesture, kind words. And then maybe taking a little moment and just thank yourself as well for all the little moments in your day and your weeks that you take just to do something nice for you. When you're ready, place the right and the left palms together. Maybe that coolness, the temperature, if it's there, feels nice. Maybe you want some more friction and heat. You can rub the palms together if that's the case. And then as and when you're ready, placing the palms over the eyes. And just resting here for a moment. Leave you with a little quote that I really, really like by Rumi. It says, "The soul has been given its own ears to hear things that the mind does just not understand. And when you're ready, let the eyes flutter open, maybe spread the fingertips, let some light back in. And then bring the hands back down to the lap when you are finally ready. Namaste, thank you. Have a great evening. I'll be around for a few minutes if anyone wants to say hello or goodbye, but if you are feeling pretty relaxed, feel free to just slink off and go into your evening.